But first, and ladies, I want to keep it real. So I've heard that being a parent is a pretty chaotic task. Would you agree?
Yeah, that would be an understatement.
Yeah. So recently, Harriet Connor wrote an article for Mums at the Table magazine about how she's managed to regain some balance by embracing a deeper perspective on life through the Bible. Now, Melody, I was wanting to get your thoughts on this. Did you relate to anything she was saying?
It was actually a very interesting thing that she basically proposed. So she's talking about how children are, we're talking about entitled children, spoon-fed children, and she's saying that actually the Bible has got some really good solutions for this. And she gave basically three different things that you could do. One is that parents are responsible for children's moral education, not teachers, not schools, nothing. We are not responsible for our children's perpetual comfort. So even if they're uncomfortable,
hallelujah.
And that we shouldn't put our children before our marriage.
Definitely some, I think, controversial statements there. My first question is, do you really think, because we've talked about sort of the village mentality, having everyone raise your kids, not just you as a parent. Do you really think that we solely are responsible for our child's moral education?
The buck stops with us.
Right, okay.
As the parent, I feel the buck stops with me. Like, it's great that if I have teachers who are aligned, it's great that if I have grandparents who are aligned, it's great that I have friends who are aligned. But at the end of the day, they're my kids. They're under my care, jurisdiction, whatever you want to call it. It's really up to me. And I loved how in the article she was really firm about that. She was gentle with her words, but she was really firm in saying, actually, don't get cross at a teacher if they're not doing this. It's your job to guide them through that. It stops with you.
And I think that's part of the problem today is we expect, because our kids are in daycare or school or whatever, for so many hours of the day, we expect somebody else to parent. And that's not right. At the end of the day, God gifted me that child.
Yeah.
It's my responsibility to put those morals and
That's right.
and what I think are right into that child.
Well, I guess to sum it up, it's like it's your job as a parent to parent.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. But then how do you balance that with having to instill, like, it takes a lot of time to instill a moral education in your child. And I think that's the problem. We're also time poor, that we don't often have the time to do that. But then how do you prioritise your husband over your kids in that way, you know?
You put them to bed early and you say, stay in there.
Actually, that was one of the examples that she said. Just because a kid wants to stay up late doesn't mean that you have to let them stay up late. You have to put them to bed early so that you get time to spend with your husband.
Yeah.
That was actually a practical example that she gave.
And we did that with our kids right up until they were in pretty much high school. They had a certain time they had to be in bed. It was sort of around about 8 o'clock. And once they got to sort of year 5, year 6, they used to whinge at me about going to bed at 8 o'clock. I said, I don't care. You're going to bed. Even if you're reading in your room, you're out of my face, because I've had enough by then.
Yeah.
So what about those parents, though, who sort of don't have a village around to support them? To get time with your partner or your husband or whatever alone, you still have to have some sort of support network. And that's where I'm like, it's great in theory, but it's really hard in reality if you don't have a network.
No, that's a very good question, but I think we might have to stop there and we'll point the viewers to read the article on the website. You can find it at mumsathetable.com, and it's a very interesting article.